man, goddamn. Here we go again, man. We got the verdict to the crazy lady that decapitated her lover or her boyfriend or something. I'm not 100% sure what happened in this case, but I just heard about it. South Carolina.
Person? And my understanding is that the jury has reached a verdict. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right? If you would hand that to the bailiff then, please.
That's what I was trying to do.
Okay. First verdict reads as follows. We, the jury, find the defendant, Taylor Denise Schabusiness, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 1 of the information, dated this date, July 26, 2023, signed by the foreperson. Second verdict reads as follows. We, the jury, find the defendant, Taylor Denise Schabusiness, guilty of mutilating a corpse as charged in count 2 of the information, dated this date, July 26, 2023, signed by the foreperson. The next verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant, Taylor Denise Schabusiness, guilty of third-degree sexual assault as charged in count 3 of the information, dated this date, 26th day of July, 2023, signed by the foreperson. The verdicts appear to be in order. Do either of the parties request that I poll the jury? Mr. Saunders?
No.
Mr. Freilich?
Yes.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do what's called polling the jury. It's a very simple process. So all I'm going to do is go down the line and ask each of you if this is your verdict. Your answer is either yes or no. I'm going to start in the back corner, ma'am. Are these your verdicts?
Yes.
Ma'am, 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 are these your verdicts?
Damn, all women?
Sir, are these your verdicts?
Yes.
Ma'am, are these your verdicts?
Yes.
In the front to the right, ma'am, are these your verdicts?
Yes.
Sir, are these your verdicts?
Yes.
Sir, are these your verdicts?
Yes.
Sir, are these your verdicts?
Yes.
Ma'am, are these your verdicts? Okay, the jury has now been polled. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, for today, your tasks are concluded. We're going to start tomorrow morning on the second phase, at which point in the beginning I will give you some further instructions, and then we will get underway on that phase. The attorneys and I have a few things that we're going to need to take up before that phase starts, so I'm going to ask that you be in the jury room by 9:15. I want to start right at 9:15, and we will hopefully get our matters resolved ahead of that time. But for today, your service is concluded. I am going to, again, read you that instruction that I've done every day since you've started. Please do not communicate with anyone about this trial or your experience as a juror while you are serving on this jury. Do not use a computer, cell phone, or other electronic device with communication capabilities to share any information about this case. For example, do not communicate by blog, email, text message, Twitter, or in any other way on or off the computer. Do not permit anyone to communicate with you, and if anyone does so despite your telling them not to, you should report that to me. I appreciate that it is tempting when you go home in the evening to discuss this case with another member of your household, but you may not do so. This case must be decided by you, the jurors, based upon the evidence presented in the courtroom. People not serving on this jury have not heard the evidence, and it is improper for them to influence your deliberations and decision in this case. After this trial is completed, you are free to communicate with anyone in any manner. We are done for today. Have a good evening. We will see you tomorrow morning at 8:15 or 9:15 sharp. All rise for the jury.
Court is just like Catholic Church. It's crazy. It's even set up the same.
Be seated. Is the matter regarding Dr. O'Donnell still a contested issue? I'm seeing nods from the state.
As of last night, yes.
Okay. So here's how we're Mr. Freilich, it's entirely up to you if you want to bring Dr. O'Donnell here tomorrow morning at 8:15 for me to hear from. But I'm going to indicate to you the parameters of where that situation is. I've reviewed your memorandum, which is all I can really work with, because this is what you've essentially said to me. This is what he's going to testify about. The first opinion is that Ms. Schabusiness was acutely intoxicated and impaired by acute methamphetamine use at the time of the alleged asphyxiation.
I knew it was
Problem
meth. I knew
I'm
it.
not sure it's relevant
I
given
knew it.
the status of the
She looked like a meth
intoxication
head.
offense. So I'm not sure that having you here is going to assist you in that, but and I need you to understand where I am regarding that topic before you decide that's what you want to bring it here for. The next point is that the long-term and excessive use of methamphetamine has chronic brain damage consequences.
Yeah, that shit make you go crazy. You do it too long.
The problem with that situation is I don't know that he is competent to diagnose chronic brain damage. So while he could assert that long-term
Meth and mushrooms make you go crazy if you just do them hoes, like abuse them.
excessive use of methamphetamine has chronic brain damage consequences, I don't think he's going to be qualified to testify that as a professional I can say to a reasonable degree of certainty used in my profession that Ms. Schabusiness has chronic brain damage. Frankly, I think the only opinion that's been asserted regarding her mental health condition as far as a diagnosis is bipolar, and that was done at Nicolay, and there's some dispute about whether that was an accurate diagnosis, but I don't know that one would qualify bipolar as being a chronic brain damage. So I'm concerned that if he's going to come in and start opining about that the connection won't be made. And then, of course, even if he is able to say that she does have chronic brain damage, the next step he has to take is that somehow that impacted responsibility, and I think there's a concern there as well. But I'm putting you on notice of that view that I'm starting to develop regarding the submissions you've made to me. The second bullet point is that long-term adolescent use of marijuana arrests brain development. Again, I'm not familiar with the diagnosis that any qualified psychologist or other professional qualified to make such a diagnosis has actually made in this case. I don't know that one equates brain development with bipolar. I've never heard that, but I'm not an expert. So the notion that he can opine that someone who uses marijuana as an adolescent might have brain damage, I'm not sure.
You'll definitely get brain damage with that weed.
Because we don't know if your client has that. And the next step is, how does that affect responsibility? And I'm not sure he's qualified to give that opinion either.
But I think you could regenerate the brain cells that get fried from weed with meth and mushrooms. That them hoes is gone.
The next bullet point is Ms. Schabusiness was not treated with psychotropic drugs to control or mitigate.
But remember, I'm just a crazy person talking on YouTube. I do not know what the fuck I'm talking about.
For psychiatric illnesses, he certainly, and again I want to say, I'm satisfied that he's qualified as a pharmacologist. I'm not questioning his qualifications as that. Certainly, I reviewed his CV and listened to his testimony at the prior hearing, and he's a qualified pharmacologist for sure. But as far as psychiatric illnesses, again, the only thing that I've heard about from the testimony in the records is a bipolar diagnosis at Nicolay, which these other psychologists have repeated. So that the only thing that one could conclude from this assertion is that she was not treated with psychotropic drugs to control or mitigate her bipolar disorder. And then the question is, how does that impact responsibility? Many people have bipolar, so the next question you have is does someone who has bipolar, will the consequences be that you're unable to appreciate the responsibility in a criminal case? That's another concern I have with whether he's going to be qualified to even testify about that. The next point is psychotropic drugs do have efficacy in a large percentage of patients who take them, I'm satisfied he'd be competent to testify about that. I'm not sure.
Well, that's a wrap for that show. I just want y'all to look at my wallpaper for a second. And that's all, folks.